When Insomniac released Spider-Man for the PS4 back in 2018, it was a huge success. From the story to the gameplay elements, it achieved to be not only a good Spider-Man story, but being the best Spider-Man game to date. Now, when Spider-Man Miles Morales was announced a few years later, it embarked the question, how can you outmaze the amazing? The only logical answer to that is, you don't. All you need to do is to have carefully crafted characters with a decent written story to make something meaningful. And this game even proved itself with the main tagline, be yourself. At the beginning of the story, we see Miles as the student to Peter Parker. He's still learning some of the ropes to being a superhero. Unlike Miles, Peter isn't that worried of the situation, as this happens almost every day. But with Miles, he's more focused, and he worries about the problem. When Peter leaves the safety of New York in Miles' hands and gives him an oath to protect the city, this was the moment that he is not the student anymore. He is now Spider-Man. Throughout the early parts of the game, he asks himself how can he be as great as Peter, but he realizes that he doesn't need to be greater than him. He just gotta be the best version of himself and try something different. Early in the game, he creates an app where people can post some of their problems that they might have, or some crimes that are happening in their area. As Miles goes through all of these requests, he gets a post saying that there's a present waiting for him, which turns out to be a new suit. This shows that creating something like an app to get the people's problems is a way to connect with the citizens of New York. The one thing that this game achieves is character, especially the main antagonists. The world makes you believe that the company Roxxon are the good guys and the new crime group, the Underground, are the bad guys. But as the story progresses and Miles goes deeper into the Underground's objective and investigating Roxxon Labs, he discovers that with these organizations, the roles are flipped. Finn and her brother Rick worked for Roxxon to develop Nuform, but they discovered that the energy source was making people sick, and they tried to stop it. But Rick dies in the process and Finn becomes the new leader of the Underground, called the Tinkerer. All Finn wanted to do was to stop Roxxon from developing more Nuform and avenge her brother. It shows that there is always something more going on than it is showed. Spider-Man Miles Morales is the best game I have played in a while. Of course, this wouldn't be my absolute favorite, but this is definitely my top 5. From the characters to the writing to the gameplay, this doesn't act as a massive sequel. It's just a game that continues to develop Miles' character. This is why Spider-Man Miles Morales is the greatest standalone to the franchise, and it proves that you don't need to be better than anyone else. You just gotta be yourself.